Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Right Time, a Wave original presented by Intuit TurboTax. My name is Bomani Jones. Thanks for listening wherever you get your podcast. Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Subscribe, like, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. You only give us 4 stars. I'm inclined to believe that you are a hater, but if you're the right kind of hater, you're going to wish you could give us 6 stars today. Shout out to all you Duke fans who are listening. I don't know why the hell you doing that, baby, because it's a party over here after they blew that 15-point lead at halftime. Ryan, I hit you, and I was like, yo, UConn letting us down. The homie Jason England was like, UConn letting the hood down. I told you, the game was over. And then, whittle by whittle, chip here, chip there, ding, 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 ding. It's like that story about the ant that was, frittering and, doing shit. I don't remember how it goes. I just know Duke lost.
Duke lost in embarrassing fashion.
Yo. Hold on. Not just embarrassing fashion, the most embarrassing fashion possible when you think about it if you are a Duke, right? They lost on a play that seemed to be a demonstration of weak will and poor fundamentals, which is getting trapped in the middle of the floor, and then the younger boozer gave up the booty, right? Couldn't throw the ball over the trap. It got deflected. And then Duke took the L when White Brilin hit a shot from the logo.
35-footer.
Not just any logo. That big-ass NCAA logo. There's barely any wood spots on the floor with all the shit they got on the floor. He hit that shot. That was a ridiculous shot. That was people like ice water in his veins. Bullshit. That was not
broken clocks.
No, that was not ice water. That was a hot potato. Like, oh shit. Like it wasn't like he got it, like came, turned his shoulder square. No, he got it. He dropped his feet back to where it was. He flung that thing, and halfway there, I was like, oh snap, it's going in. That was before I even knew his name was White Brilin. I don't feel like Duke would take on a White Brilin. Like I know they done got around to regular Brilins, but White Brilins, they from the wrong side, like a different kind of wrong side of the tracks. You understand what I mean? I don't know nothing about that boy, by the way, except he's from some little town in Indiana. If he is not actually White Brilin, I apologize. I have not bothered to Google up his parents, but like White Brilin is another step, right? Like I think Ryan just took himself off the screen so he could get on the case. I was looking at his hair. I won't tell you the other thing I was going to say. But anyway, whoo, boy, that was fun. That felt good. I was so glad that game was not like at 11 o'clock at night because I might have woke up one of my neighbors, and I try to be a good neighbor. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that. I can't believe that way I was out here rooting for Danny Hurley. Danny Hurley is not my type of hype in about 8 different ways. Man, listen, that they was losing that game so bad at halftime, I was like, he better go in there and fire their ass up. That's right. Yeah, do what it takes. You know what I'm saying? Apparently they did.
Josh and Katie Mullins. I think we can go with White Brilin.
I think we're safe.
White Brilin.
I think we're safe. I mean, I'd like to know the other names that were on the list. Right? Like when you want to go to White Brilin, I'm like, so I guess Andre is an old people's name now.
Yes.
So like there's all kinds of those names, like Andre, Kareem, right? Like I think they are the new Beulahs. Right? They're the new Gertrudes. They're the new names that have just got like Earl.
Yeah. Just kind of, gone in the ether as the generations passed.
Yo, it's really weird that you look up one day and it's like, yo, this is an old person name now.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the case, but I don't know. I want to know what other names they were thinking before they settled on Brilin. And good thing he could hoop. In fact, I bet that did great things for him in the hoop thing. Where, I mean, I didn't know people got access to video and everything, but when they reading down the list of who the players are, and you hear that the boy Brilin is out here killing it, you're like, oh shit, let me get a look at him. You know what I'm saying? And they don't even know. Like, it's some people that probably showed up to get a look at his game that wouldn't have done so otherwise if his name was, I don't even know what counts as a white person name anymore.
Brandon? I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I think they're
goes both ways, yeah.
Yeah, there's all, I mean, Brandon Ingram is Brandon.
That's true, yeah. Went to Duke.
That is still the most unlikely occurrence of my entire life. And I've seen Donald Trump get elected twice. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Like this is, boy, never saw it coming. But anyway, man, I don't even know. Like, I don't know if I got some analysis for you. It's been I will say this. It has felt like a very exciting NCAA tournament. My brother and Vinny had come over to the crib. We were watching games on Saturday night. And we were talking about just how exciting the tournament has been. And my brother said he feels like he says that every year. And Ryan, that's interesting to me because I actually don't feel like I say that every year. Like, I think most years have some potential. But like even that Illinois-Iowa game, it wound up being a spread, but that was a really good, like, entertaining game to watch.
And also creating new characters. I mean, that Iowa coach that's come out of nowhere who's like,
yes,
like the Big Ten's like dominance of all sports since NIL. I mean, speaking of Michigan,
woo, boy, they beat the brakes off Tennessee. And I had sent you a text during the day, and I was like, am I going to have to do something about how Rick Barnes actually turned into a good coach? Well, I mean, I could, but I don't have to anymore.
Yeah, we don't have to anymore. And speaking of coaches who are struggling in these tournament rounds, John Shire.
Yeah, one of my good buddies said, what are we going to admit that John Shire simply has warning track power? And I don't feel like we can, I don't know yes, you have to give a certain measure of blame to the coach when you blow a 15-point lead.
Yes.
Right? But what happened at the end of that game, at least it felt to me, was just kind of, college students, college freshmen, no less. Moment got a little bit too big for them. But, man, you don't really see that much high-level basketball with a dude getting trapped in the middle of the floor like that. Like, I get why he would not want to throw it back.
Right.
Under any circumstance. If we can just get this ball across half court, we're straight. But there was at no point in that possession did I think that the way it was going to go is that the ball was going to go the other way.
Right.
From where it went. Like, I did not think.
Especially on like the fourth pass.
Yeah, I didn't think. Right.
Occasionally someone steals the inbounds or something gets deflected there as a 5-second, but that turn of events almost never happens.
Yeah, I did not think they were going to force a turnover. And as we're sitting here, buddy Jay sent a text that said the difference between comedy and tragedy is who it happens to.
Correct.
It's so real. I mean,
coming up later in the show, Tiger Woods.
Man, look, I got so loud when the shot went in. I could, and then I turned conspiracy brother because it was 0.3 seconds on the clock, and then they put it to 0.4 because, as you know, you cannot do catch and shoot on 0.3, but you can on 0.4. Like, there they go.
You see how they do it?
There they go. That's the shit. That's what we be talking about. See, that's what they do. That's what they do. But yeah, no, that was a really good. I mean, tournament all good. Honestly, to me, that was like the championship game.
Yeah.
I guess I could watch the Final Four. It's an option I have.
Right.
I don't know. But we're gonna see. But shout out to Illinois, you know what I'm saying? The merry band of Eastern Europeans getting it done. They look really happy too.
Yeah.
Like, I will say that something that I do think counts and applies when it comes to college basketball, and that will not change, even with the money apparently, is the ages by and large of the players. Now, of course, we got some dudes like that dude that Michigan got, who apparently is almost a pharmacist.
Yeah.
At this point. But maybe I'm just reaching that age. But them boys at Illinois, when they won that game, and they, with the coach and everything, it still looked like what you'd idealistically like for college basketball to look like. And I do think that when you watch these games, like up through your 20s and maybe even your early 30s, it doesn't hit the same as it does once you're literally twice as old as the guys who are out there. And now you do really start seeing like the youthful affect of all of this. And
they just start to look younger and younger and younger.
Yeah, but there's an emotional resonance to the whole game of college basketball that is different than it'll be in the NBA. And even if these guys are getting money, this is still, for a bunch of them, the coolest shit that they're ever going to do in their lives.
Yes,
right?
and the highest stage they're going to be on by far.
And even if they got a bunch of money in their pockets over it, it's still the coolest shit that they've ever done. And it still looked like a game that was being played by people who were engaging in the coolest thing that they were ever going to do. And again, maybe this is simply a perspective that I had to age into, but there is a charm to that. And I have been a person who has said the players should absolutely get paid, right? But it was going to make things a little bit less fun.
Right.
There was no way around that. So, like, for example, Darren Peterson was unaffected by losing in the second round of that game in a way that I don't think happens in a world before all this money. As somebody who clearly cares about winning and stuff like that, right? Like, I don't think that's how that winds up going. But I saw this also with the Michigan guys after they won. I didn't really get a chance to watch the UConn celebration because I was too busy having one of my own. But, I imagine that they was over there, like, pretty happy too. It does still feel like the NCAA tournament, which is very important for the NCAA. I have understood more than I think most people who share my views do. The reason that they kind of viewed all this money as an existential threat to the game, because it was counter to the branding that they had sold. Like, whether or not you thought amateurism was important, it was a linchpin of what they sold. And the idea that these guys are in it for the love of the game was huge. And they are clearly not just in this for the love of the game. They might love it too, but this is not a noble Spartan pursuit at this point. But it still felt like it with these games at the end. It still felt like it with these buzzer beaters that we saw. And that's important for all these parties involved, that it still feels that way. Because otherwise, the basketball simply is not good enough to support this without the trappings that are around it. Like that big boy Reed that played for UConn. It was amazing. He had great footwork. He had great post moves, but he could never get it done on the first one. Like, it was like, goddamn, just go up. Nope, I got a dream shake a couple more times. And then eventually he'd always get there. But it was just like, oh, yeah, that's right. These guys aren't that good at basketball. It's just fun to watch them play it.
Right. Do you think part of that is the characters of the coaches kind of reemerging themselves? Obviously, Rick Pitino made a big run. Calipari went far. I mean, Dan Hurley is now moving up in the ranks of great college basketball coaches.
Yes, it helps. It helps. I mean, look, I was thinking about this, and we'll talk a little bit more about Ryan's messy-ass school in a little bit.
We'll get there.
But I am a person who does not – I'm a person who loves Kim Mulkey because I love that Kim Mulkey exists, not because I agree with Kim Mulkey on a bunch of things or whatever it is. I love the fact that she exists. I love the fact that she be out there wearing them crazy get-ups on the sideline. Yeah, I love how obnoxious she is about her political views and the things she says at the dais and stuff like that, because we need more of those. That is the thing with Dan Hurley. Dan Hurley has taken it upon himself to be, like, there aren't that many full-on assholes left. He's out there asking referees if they want LASIK.
Yeah.
Like he's a fan. Like, he's heckling the refs. Dude, you can't do that. What are you talking about? But we need, these characters are necessary to make this game go. The players as characters in a certain way, you don't want them to seem like they've done this before. You don't want it, and it doesn't look like that. And again, this is a huge nail in the coffin for the NCAA, because I thought they were right in believing that would be affected or changed by all this. But no, actually, it has not. And maybe, if we're being honest, I think that's true, though I could be wrong, just because I'm so happy that Duke lost. Listen to this. Man just sent me a text, the homie Jason. So Duke has had their last 4 losses, which goes into last season, because this is only the 3rd loss they had this year. This was the peak in-game win probability for those last 4 losses. In the Final Four against Houston in 2025, 97.5. December 2025 against Texas Tech, 97.8. February against Carolina, 95.1. Today against UConn, 98.7. And I'm not like about that church life, just never really been my bag. However, it's clear that there's only one reasonable explanation for that. God don't like ugly. Tiger Woods, I was at a memorial service on Friday when the word came down that Tiger Woods had got busted for DUI, and I'm there, and somebody who had previously been very invested in Tiger Woods just loudly says, "Man, fuck him." I was like, whoa. Like the news of Tiger getting this DUI, like it's interesting because Tiger's 50 years old, but you normally see that sort of hostility, and he's not the only person that had such a feeling. And maybe I think a certain part of that is the stigma that's associated with DUI. But it's like Tiger's being treated like he's somebody who's wasting his potential still, because that's the thing that normally brings it out of people. I had a conversation with my good buddy Michael Collins the other day, and we were talking about the fact that people still think Tiger Woods can win golf tournaments, right? He's 50 years old. He's got all these issues and everything else. And it's like, yo, you think Tiger's going to play in the Masters? As if he has a chance to play. Like, nobody cared in 1992 if Jack Nicklaus was going to play in the Masters. Like, oh, he's going to play. We're going to watch, right? But that's how it feels like people view Tiger as like, oh, we still think that he can win this or whatever. And so therefore, when he has these things happen, the thought is the thought is in line with his recklessness and his selfishness, right? Not inclined to go there. Now, an important detail is I haven't read any of these books that are about Tiger Woods, or even I did not read that really lengthy Wright Thompson story. Did you read that one about Tiger and the Navy SEAL stuff?
I also read the unauthorized biography that came out about 5 years ago.
Okay, so I know the Wright Thompson piece. That's the one about him trying to be a Navy SEAL and all this stuff, right? And so it's kind of his 30s were spent kind of chasing these hyper masculine pursuits, right? Many of which messed up his body. Like, is that a fair characterization?
Yes, messed up his back and his knees.
Yeah, and then I guess he was 34 in 2009, or right around 34, because his birthday is at the very end of the year, when he crashed a car in the driveway, and all of these things. But I saw somebody who was just like, I forget what they said about his 20s and his 30s was, chasing these macho things or whatever. And then, it gets to the 40s. And I think I understand wanting to dismiss him because of, like the idea of that simple sort of masculinity. I understand why people think it's stupid, but I also understand why somebody would chase it. Because in the end, man, as stupid and silly as people think that macho stuff is, man, macho dudes who pull it off, they test really well. People really like them, including the people that claim they think is stupid.
They achieve a lot of great things that other people don't.
Yeah. It's a thing. I get why one would chase it, especially somebody like him, who, for what you can know about him without having read all the books or read all the articles, he's just always been a little lost and trying to find himself, right? Like that Cablinasian thing. That's a lost person trying to find himself. And at this point in his life, where he can't even really play golf, which is the one place where he knew exactly who he was Tiger fucking Woods. You can't even really do that. Like, the fact that Tiger Woods is out there on that virtual golf shit they be showing, you see that?
Yeah.
The fact that he participates in this.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big part of the reason he exists.
Yeah, this is kind of beneath you, except golf. It's the place where he gets it. It's the place where he knows. And so the idea that he wouldn't know what to do with himself makes sense, right? Like, if I had to guess, the biggest reason LeBron James still playing basketball, because what else he gonna do? And we can have all our arguments about, you could run a business, you could do this, you could do that, all these things that we could say, but nothing else in the world for LeBron James is gonna feel like LeBron James feels playing basketball. And I'm not saying LeBron doesn't know who he is, because I think he has a much clearer sense of who he is, right? And his role and stuff. I think he's very aware of those things. He is not a lost soul in the way that I feel that Tiger Woods has been a lost soul. But Alan Shipnuck, the golf writer, I don't know if you saw the tweet that he put out about the car wreck Tiger had in California.
What, 5 years ago?
Yes. And the big point that he made was that was not a wreck that you get in because you fell asleep. Like, the accelerator was down. There are different questions to ask about what. Remember when Junior Seau had that car wreck? Right? Now, Junior Seau, I think we can safely say, especially considering, how things ended for him, Junior Seau was trying to kill himself. I am not comfortable saying that Tiger Woods was trying to kill himself. I'm just telling you that the way that he described that accident, this is a man with problems, I guess is what I'm saying. And I'm not so inclined to chastise people with problems. Now, I also think that it became clear, and we'll see what it all shakes out. If Tiger Woods was impaired, he blew a .000 on the breathalyzer, which is to say if he was impaired, it was from pills. And he refused to take a urine test. It was from pills. And I will point this out. I've had multiple people make this point that I'm about to make. That they, from personal experience, would not wish back pain upon their worst enemy. And that back pain has made them sincerely think about killing themselves. Like the level of back pain that we're talking about. And all these back surgeries that he's had. And I didn't realize this, Ryan, that there's a school of thought where there are like questions about whether back surgery is a scam.
Yes.
Whoa, boy, what a terrible scam. What a terrible con that would be to play on me.
Right.
Right? Like, oh my God. But imagine being lost in everything else, and then you have all this back pain, which certainly sends you to taking these pills, because Tiger Woods he seemed like he's too square to, smoke weed.
I mean, you can see it. You can see it by the way he's been walking.
Yeah.
He walks like a 7-year-old football player.
Yes.
Like it is like he is in pain every moment of his life.
Yeah. And so my inclination about DUI is typically not to judge as quickly as others. And I get why people do, but I also think that some of that judgment or the inclination to do so has a lot to do with our society's difficulty figuring out how it actually feels about alcohol, right? Like, as a non-drinker, I don't need to find these ways to try to rationalize the presence of alcohol, and that when people do dumb things because they've been using alcohol, it's not the alcohol's fault. It's a personal responsibility shit, right? Like, I don't have to try to square all these ideas at the same time. I can look at it, and what I can look at it though and say is there are very few people who catch DUIs like outside of Scottsdale, Arizona, where they just give everybody a DUI. Maricopa County, right? But there aren't that many people who are getting DUIs who don't have a larger problem. And so from there, to me, it's like, yes, obviously this person has done something that was selfish. They planned poorly, everything else, but it's more to it when it gets there. With this, I would not be surprised if the answer was that Tiger Woods was addicted to pain medication, which would make him like a significant number of people in this country. And I doubt that was something that he ever wanted to do, if that's how it ended up. But I think it's very easy for us to understand how such a thing could happen. I mean, shit, it happened to Prince. Like it's happened to so many people, and Prince had been a basic teetotaler basically forever up until that point. Like these things get people and they get a hold of them, and they can even get a hold of Tiger Woods. And then if it gets a hold of him, and then we talk about all the other compounding factors that come with it, man, I just came away from that like feeling bad for him, So I don't know. I guess I'm not saying that as any sort of like statement against anybody that views this situation judgmentally. At least that's not what I appear to be. That's not what I want to do, because I know how people could reach that conclusion. But I do think it's worth noting or worth looking at him is that even though this is a larger than life figure, this is to me a man who is clearly in physical, some combination of physical, mental, and emotional pain. And I think that this is a reflection of that more than it is anything else. It's time to slide your glass slippers over your lucky socks and hope for a fairy tale ending. It starts when you put in $10 on FanDuel Predicts, and we match it with a $10 bonus. Buckle up for the buzzer beaters that break brackets, shots that silence arenas, and runs that rewrite history. Take a position on the spread, total points, or the winning team. Follow the action in real time. March matchups are on FanDuel Predicts.
Offered by FanDuel Prediction Market, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant. 18 plus, one per user. Minimum $10 deposit required. Trading derivatives involves significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with our consumer protection tools.
Did you know Fast Growing Trees is America's largest and most trusted online nursery with thousands of trees and plants and over 2 million happy customers? They have all the plants your yard or home needs, including fruit trees, privacy trees, flowering trees, shrubs, and houseplants, all grown with care and guaranteed to arrive healthy. It's like your local nursery, but anywhere you live, with more plants than you'll find anywhere else. Whatever you're looking for, Fast Growing Trees helps you find options that actually work for your climate, space, and lifestyle. Fast Growing Trees makes it easy to get your dream yard. Just click, order, grow, and get healthy, thriving plants delivered to your door. Their Alive and Thrive guarantee promises that your plants arrive happy and healthy. No green thumb required, just quality plants you can count on. Plus, get ongoing support from trained plant experts who can help you plan your landscape, choose the right plants, and learn how to care for them every step of the way. I recently ordered some plants from Fast Growing Trees and cannot wait to add them to my own plant collection. Right now, they have great deals on spring planting essentials and up to half off on selected plants. And listeners to our show get 20% off their first purchase when using the code Bomani at checkout. That's an additional 20% off better plants and better growing at fastgrowingtrees.com using the code Bomani at checkout. Fastgrowingtrees.com, code Bomani. Now's the perfect time to plant. Let's grow together. Use Bomani to save today. Offer is valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions may apply. The April 15th tax deadline will be here before you know it. And let's be honest, no one likes doing their own taxes. It's frustrating, time-consuming, and after doing all that work, you still aren't sure if you did them correctly. But with Intuit TurboTax Full Service, you're matched with a dedicated expert who understands your specific tax situation and can do your taxes for you start to finish. You can directly import your tax forms right into the app and hand everything off to your expert. While they work on your taxes, you get real-time updates on their progress, quick text messages and progress updates right there in the app, and they work to get you the most money back, all while giving you time back to all of the things you would rather be doing, like watching your favorite show, reading a new book, or checking out the latest episode at the right time. Visit TurboTax.com today to get matched with a dedicated expert today. People spend years trying to treat a naturally curly beard as if it were straight, using the same shampoo on their hair, beard, and face simply because it was convenient. And the results are predictable: dryness, tightness, and frustration without the healthy growth you are looking for. Once you use products formulated specifically for textured hair, the experience changes. Bask and Lather focuses on oils, balms, and treatments designed for the way our hair actually grows. Beards feel softer, hair gets stronger with less flaking, and routines now work with natural texture instead of against it. Explore viral bestsellers and products of healthier hair of all types from Bask and Lather. Go to baskandlatherco.com and use code TRT for 20% off. That's 20% off at baskandlatherco.com, code TRT. Go to baskandlatherco.com and use code TRT for 20% off.
We know you can't be on top of all the news and information of the day. No need for the social media feeds. We got you. Now, if you haven't heard.
All right, Bo, if you haven't heard, Will Wade's going to be the new basketball coach at LSU. He returns after spending 2017 to 2022 being, let's call it dismissed in disgrace, having two quick stops at McNeese State and NC State. In the meantime, Bo, what was your reaction to the story?
So this is like one of them things where, like, if he was in the reefer business, how like in New York with the reefer business, they giving jobs to all the people who they busted for reefer offenses back in the day. It's kind of like an equity situation.
Right.
Is that all those guys that were caught up in that scandal that Will Wade got caught up in?
Rick Pitino
back at St. John's. Will Wade got himself back up to NC State. Like that would count as the back portion. What's my man's name? Sean Miller. He is at Texas. He went back to Xavier. He took a step down. But then after the world changed, everybody was kind of like, really, what are we talking about here, right? Now, is that going to apply to those assistants? All those black guys? We will see. But for those of you who don't know, Will Wade was a coach at LSU, but he got caught on FBI wiretaps talking about the, quote, strong-ass offer, unquote, that he had made to some player. LSU had to let him go. He was kind of lost in the hinterlands. And then he got a job at McNeese State, which, by the way, 5 years of not working, go work at McNeese State. Makes perfect sense, right? Like, I think that's a reasonable, you've learned your lesson. And he was playing the game. Like, he wasn't doing anything that jumped out as being beyond the pale of what is actually accepted behavior there. But anyway, he's there. Then he gets the job at NC State. And see, NC State, always in a tricky position, man, because, I mean, Ryan, you're an LSU guy. You watch it. He appears to be a good coach. Is that fair to say?
Yes. He's certainly a better coach than they've had in a long time.
Yeah.
Certainly the best coach they've had in probably since Dale Brown left. Yeah, post-Dale.
Okay. So, I mean, that's right. You guys had John Brady was the immediate post-Dale hire. And I'll tell you, okay, Dale Brown's a very good man, so I'm not going to say what I was just about to say. But anyway, so NC State gets Will Wade. Man, this dude, he taking pictures like that are like remakes of like Jim Valvano stuff.
Yeah.
And all of this. And NC State's a really hard job. Like, I'm trying to say this without joking on them. And it's always so easy to do.
I understand this is a feat of self-control for you.
Yeah. But I mean, they're 20 minutes away from Carolina and 20 minutes away from Duke. Like, they're in it. And look, and used to be on par with those schools. They went on probation at the absolute worst time, which was when the explosion of cable television changed college basketball. And that's when they got in trouble and they fell behind and they never caught up and they just want to be better, right? I don't think their fans are nearly as unrealistic as people make them out to be. They just want to be better. They're like, there's no explanation for why we can't be better. All of those things. Totally get it. And they had Will Wade, and it was looking for a while like, guys, I think Will Wade's going to go back to LSU.
Right.
And apparently the only people who didn't know this were the people at NC State, in part because Will Wade at every turn was telling them he's not going to go back to LSU. And then LSU had already hired the already hired the president from McNeese State and then hired the athletic director?
I'm lost in the deals, but clearly went and got his guy from McNeese State.
Yes. Was that the president or the AD?
The AD.
Okay, so they went and got the AD, and I think the president also came from McNeese.
Yeah.
Everybody had a connection to Will Wade, is my point. And then Will Wade, after apparently the day before telling the AD at NC State, just talking about what they were going to do, then his agent let him know that he was leaving, and he went back to LSU.
Send an email, Will Wade's not coming back.
And there were reports for days, Will Wade's going to go to LSU. The thing was, at that time, LSU had a coach.
Yeah.
They had not fired their coach yet. And everybody knew that this was going to happen. And then the internet got to sleuthing. And this is the most amazing one. There's reason to believe that Will Wade got under contract on a house February 23rd.
Yes. This is peak college message board stuff.
But he bought the house. Like this is he bought a house. I'm sorry, a house in Baton Rouge.
Yeah,
I didn't specify that part. NC State is in Raleigh, North Carolina. He put on the house on February 23rd. Okay?
Over a month ago, he bought a house. And I want to look at this with my own eyes. And this is exactly how it went, Ryan. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. After that, NC State went 1-6. So the players clearly knew.
They cleared, and not just 1-6. They lost by 29 to Virginia. They lost to an awful Notre Dame team. They lost by 29 to Duke. They lost to, Stanford wasn't awful, but they only lost to them by 1 point. Way to go. They beat Pitt. Good job. And then they lost to Virginia, and then they got to the first four, and then they lost again. Coincidentally, their coach. By the way, this is coming off of beating the brakes off Carolina. And then coincidentally, it seems their coach bought a house. In Baton Rouge. LSU is looking... And look, I don't blame LSU on the Lane Kiffin thing. I don't think they did anything wrong. But they did hire Lane Kiffin.
You're going to have, speaking of someone we mentioned earlier in the program, you're going to have Lane Kiffin, Kim Mulkey, and Will Wade in the same building.
That's right. This is LSU coaching right here. This is you guys have decided to be the most obnoxious program in America, which, by the way, can be fun. Here's the thing I'd say, though. Lane Kiffin has to win.
Yes.
Will Wade simply needs to put forth a respectable product.
Correct. Like, Will Wade has to make the tournament every couple of years.
Honestly, the demands of being a basketball coach in the SEC are not nearly as bad as they used to be, because it used to be important to have a good basketball team so that you could recruit. Now you just need to pay them. Like, it don't matter if your basketball team any good or if anybody's at the back, because they take them to basketball games on the visit.
Yeah.
So like Nick Saban's like, hey, man, we got to get Alabama basketball back to what it used to be. We need to have a building that's popping when we take the people. Man, they like, how about we just give them some money? What do you think of that?
You know how you get that money? By having a good football team.
That's it. There we go.
All right, let's move on to the NFL. 49ers general manager John Lynch has had to come out and, debunk the rumors about the substation near the practice facility. Came out and said it was a big nothing burger. However, they have provided tangible steps to reduce future injuries. They've hired more PT on their staff, responding to bad report cards from the NFLPA. Bo, what was your reaction to this news?
So I got to say this about the substation thing, because for people who don't know, there's a thought that there's some kind of electrical substation that's near the 49ers training facility, and that the internet has long said that that's the reason why their players keep getting hurt so much. It's because it weakens their bones.
People are frightened of Bluetooth and these Wi-Fi signals. Like, that's not just these. Like Christian McCaffrey was talking about, he has a switch in his house that turns the Wi-Fi off at night. Like, he's one of the people. They clearly had to get ahead of it because it got to the point where the players started to believe it.
Right, but I think this is the other part. Your players get hurt so much that people are looking outside for answers. That's my question. Like, what is it about you guys where your guys seem to get hurt? And it's anecdotal. Like, I haven't looked and done the test, done any like quantitative testing on injuries, but it feels like their guys are always hurt in a league where everybody else is always hurt too. But it really feels like their guys are always hurt. So part of this is people don't know what to believe on the internet, because I have received a few "is this real?" texts about that one. But also, and I say this as a person with, like, people ask me, but I got pretty good powers of discernment. I can't imagine what it's like for kids that have grown up in this world of just being so inundated with information that they have no idea how to tell, right? Like, people who grow up in it. That's part of it. But the other part is y'all need to do something about the fact that people get hurt so much for your team that people need explanations.
Right. Like, if people were like, and this is a story that was like started out as like a fun, silly thing in the middle of the season when some of these injuries started to pile up, and has now gotten to the point where John Lynch is having to have answer press conferences about it in March.
Yes. Like, this is sigh.
Right. Yes. There's a lot. It's a lot. It's a football story. It's an internet story. There is a lot going on there. And finally, it turns out that attending an HBCU might be beneficial for your health. A study sampled nearly 2,000 Black adults who attended college between 1940 and 1980. 35 attended an HBCU, and those who attended one had better cognition amongst all three of those different time periods. HBCU Black adults who attended an HBCU had better memory and better cognitive function than those who attended a PWI. Bo, what was your reaction to this news?
Hey, man, let me tell you something. After I graduated from Clark, Atlanta, wound up going to graduate school in Claremont, California. I had never heard of Claremont, California before when I got there. But I got there, and it was a consortium. I was a graduate school, but then a consortium of undergraduate institutions. And I'm going to just tell you, man, I got off that plane. I stayed in the hotel. I went to, we were doing like an orientation for my program. And I just remember being there. and I was surrounded by, like, generally speaking, whiteness in a way that I had not in a very long time, and just kind of the vibes and the way I felt people looking at me. And I just remember I left and I walked out and I saw a sign in front of a house. It said the Office of Black Student Affairs. I walked in there and they said, "Can I help you?" And I was like, it just felt like I need to be here right now. You understand what I'm saying? I spent 2 years there and I was around, like, I was young enough to still, like, kick with the undergrads. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, you guys did this on purpose, huh? Like, it was so different than the world I had spent the previous 4 years in. And it was very clear to me that we had a much better time over there than they were having there. Then when I came to North Carolina and I was around those schools, and I saw a level of alcohol consumption that I had never seen before when I got around those schools. I say all that to say I am not surprised at all that those numbers work out that way, because it really seemed like my Black friends who went to white schools had a whole lot more on their minds and a lot more to deal with than me and mine that was over here at these Black schools. Only to, by the way, typically end up with maybe similar outcomes, not necessarily superior. So no, it does not surprise me. Them schools be, hey, Dead Prayers had a song about it, but them schools be driving y'all crazy. Keep up the fight. You know what I'm saying? Keep hope alive. I hear you.
All right, Bo. A lot of good voicemails this week. Start off with a favorite topic of the show.
Hey, Bomani Jones, long-time listener, just calling in. Just wrapped up the episode of Van Lathan, and it is almost a little reassuring to hear that our good friend Joel Anderson is indeed the world's biggest hater. I know some haters, but, you know, that story Van Lathan told, and I was like, man, this dude, Bomani ain't just ripping on him. He's just a born hater, motivated out of spite. I'm here for that 100-meter dash, that 40, whatever y'all want to do. I think it would be a great idea. Reminds me of the Ben Johnson, Donovan Bailey situation. He's giving me Ben Johnson vibes. I feel if he's losing, he's about to pull up, say his hammy hurts and whatnot. But, you know, I think it's vindication for you. Joel is a hater. We now know it. It has been confirmed across the world. Love the show. Keep hating. Keep doing your thing. Have a good day, man.
Yo, so I appreciate this, but I need you to understand something. First of all, I need Joel to understand Ryan picked that, so you don't blame that on me. Number two, Joel really believes that it's my fault. Like, he truly believes that if not for me.
Van confirmed this independently. We did not ask.
Right. Like, everything. Joel took a video this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see it?
Yes.
Okay, for those of you who did not see this. Because they've been coming at Joel like they've been coming at me about this Jay-Z thing, right? I'm getting called all kind of Uncle Tom and fake black man and all of this stuff, right? Like, it is wild. But anyway, they've been coming at Joel too, because Joel had some similar thoughts to the thoughts that I had. They had Joel so heated that Joel was in the front seat of his car, ashy, and he said he was ashy.
With the baby in the back.
No, the baby wasn't in the back. The baby was in his lap. And he rolled for 5 minutes. And at the top of it, you know, the stereotypes that my friends Bomani Jones and Van Lathan have been stereotypes about him. Just think about that for a moment. A stereotype about one man. These stereotypes that Bomani Jones and Van Lathan saying about me about how I, can't let us, I got to respond to every slight, and then he say he just had to do it. And by the way, all his points were valid. I agreed with every word that he had to say. But he says it's my fault.
I will say I love Joel. I love Joel on every pod he's on.
You didn't do it.
Joel responding his critics. Dude, that's the podcast I enjoy the most. Joel going, I hate to make this comparison because it's going to make him very mad. Full Stephen A.
Yo, I hadn't thought about this. We need to send Joel one of them suits and like a stack of funny money so that he can come out here and start throwing money on the ground when the time comes.
That's my favorite podcast that Joel's on. That's including
like,
this
should
one.
I start like maybe I should do that once or twice to like entertain the fans or something, right? Nah, I won't.
All right, here's our next one.
Hey, Bomani, this is Edmund in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm a 5th grade teacher, and I watch my students engage in this horrible youth sports culture. And I was hanging with a friend of mine in Denver this past weekend. His sister is a big-time player in wealth management in Denver. And she was explaining to me that private equity is all over youth sports right now, investing into youth sports. And I just want to kind of hear your opinions on that. It did not surprise me at all because, as you've said on the podcast many times, what has private equity made better? Anyway, just love to hear what you think about it. Big fan of the show. See ya.
My buddy Jay Caspian Kang of The New Yorker wrote a very interesting piece about this last June.
I think he has a book coming out.
Yeah, as I say, if I'm not mistaken, he is writing a book about this very topic. I think my thoughts on this are exactly what you would think that my thoughts were on this, that it's bad. But what we're also seeing is, I mean, we see this playing out now. These games are being played by middle class and upper middle class kids more so. Like sports will not long be a way for people to flip their economic fortunes in this country as they have been previous. Right. And I think this becomes a much more acute situation now that there's money to be made in college. Like there is room to create what is actually and truly generational wealth for a lot of people on a level playing field because of the money that's now there for playing college sports. But the same people that always got the money trying to figure out ways to keep it and to take it from other people now, aren't they?
All right, here's our next one.
What's going on, Bo? I grew up playing soccer, attended a Division I school in the Carolinas in the late 2010s. College basketball was never top of my radar. My freshman year in college was 2013. Duke had a team that I was drawn towards, and I believe the starting five was all black, and I believe that year they won the national championship. I've never really had a team to pull for. I liked that Duke team. I tend to pay attention to them. I understand historically that's not really the team that I should ride with. Should I feel bad rooting for this Duke team?
Yes.
To win a national championship?
Hell
Please
yeah.
let me know if I'm entirely off base here.
Hell yeah. So what was it, the 99 team he said he rooted for before or the 2015?
I think it's a 2015 team.
They had Grayson fucking Allen. I understand their starting five was all black. They Justice Winslow kicking people in the, was he stepping on people or kicking people in the nuts? He was doing something real dookie.
Yes.
Like Grayson Allen hadn't even got his footing under him yet to become that guy. Yes. The answer to your question is there's something wrong with it, but luckily the point is moot because they lost. They lost when White Brilin frantically heaved a three-pointer from the logo and it went straight through your heart. Because Lil Boozer, well, I have somebody hit me on the text. Booze and lose, baby. Booze and lose.
All right, here's our next one.
Yo, Bomani, this is Nestor calling you from Maryland. So I live real close to D.C., about 15 minutes away. But this boy Dewey, he's also from Maryland, but he's from Charles County, Maryland. So what you need to know about Charles County is people that are close to D.C., we say we need to catch a flight out to Charles County. Like, it's pretty far away. But my boy, he knew Dewey. And so this whole Dewey situation, you know, got cracking. And so me and my boys, the group chat, we were like, yo, this boy's from Maryland. This is crazy. This is that. And so, you know, I think that's something you didn't touch on that needs to be kind of investigated is how did they handcuff my boy? And so one of my boys said, yo, I mean, they must have wrapped him up. You know what I mean? Like a little burrito type, because you can't really put handcuffs on that boy. And another person said, yo, I mean, they caught him red-handed, apparently. But all jokes aside, what's really interesting is one of my homies, the homie that lives in Charles County, told us that Dewey, was part of his bowling league. So not only was this quadruple amputee playing the bags, murdering people, but apparently he could also do a little bit of bowling. Love the show. Peace.
I'm not gonna lie. Dewey sounds like legitimately inspirational. Like if Dewey could have just held it in the road. Like now I understand why people's writing articles about him. Like y'all keep talking about Jay-Z, talking about I will not lose or won't let nothing stop him. Look where he came. That boy Dewey.
Are you saying Dewey pulled himself up by his own bootstraps?
Yes. Yes, I am. That's America right there. Let me tell you what, I guarantee you Dewey wasn't doing either. Dewey wasn't voting for no goddamn Democrats. I tell you that right now. Dewey got himself where he was from how he did and all this stuff. Let me tell you who ain't trying to hear none of your excuses. Dewey. Think of how mad Dewey was when they wouldn't help him with the body. He's like, fine, I'll do it myself. Like I do everything else. Because I do everything. You don't do everything, but I do.
You're saying Dewey wasn't asking for a handout?
I'm not going to break.
I mean, if he was still out there, you're not concerned that he would be armed and dangerous?
He would be dangerous. He sure would.
All right, here's our last one.
Good job, though. Nice try.
Hey, Bo, how's it going? This is Jason from Vegas. Long-time listener. Ever since you got on Around the Horn, I've been following you. Your content all over the place. And I love what you're doing. I appreciate it. So I'm calling because of funny names. So I work in a casino as a supervisor, and I had these two women sit down on my table, one black, one white, and they both handed me their player cards. Now, the player cards are sitting on the table.
Let's see where this is going.
So I go to swipe them in, and as I hand the cards back to them, I hand the card to the white girl, Martha. I hand the card to the black girl, Kanisha. They look at me and they tell me, oh, you gave us the wrong cards. And I was like, excuse me? Yes. This white girl's name was Kanisha. Kunesha. Kanisha. That was one that threw me. I had another instance, real quick, make it fast, where I had another little white girl sit down on the game. She handed me her player's card. The name on the card was Lacreia. And I'm sitting here looking at this name like, I know this ain't what I think it is. And I asked her, and I was like, Miss, how do I say your name? And she looked me dead in the face, and she said, my name is Lucretia. And I just started laughing, Bo. I couldn't get over it. And her boyfriend looked at me, and he's like, what's so funny? I was like, because that's a very black name for a very white girl. Anyway, Bo, love what you do. Appreciate it. Keep doing your thing.
Right. First of all, boyfriend, why are you asking questions you know the answer to?
Like this hasn't come up before.
You did the same thing, man. I don't remember if I told you about this one. One of my partners, he might be listening. We never got around to talking about it. But we was out one night. I was out somewhere, and he was with this girl, and I hadn't met her before, and he introduced me to her. And he was like, hey, this is Bomani. And she goes, hi. I'm Lakeisha. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what did you say? Lakeisha. Oh, nice to meet you. But that what did you say was the most sincere thing I'd ever said in my life because there wasn't no way. Wasn't no way. And I'm like, damn, I bet you go through this every time. All right, this has to
come up regularly.
This is, yeah. Like you understand what time it is here. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, what a time. What a time. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us here on The Right Time. We do this 4 days a week. Ryan Brumley handling everything behind the scenes. Thank you, sir. Hit the voicemail line, 323-596-7767. Remember, follow the right time. Subscribe, like, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. You only give us 4 stars. I'm inclined to believe you are a hater. We'll talk to you guys in a couple of days. Take it easy.